Strange, but true stories. Tales from the light side, the dark side, and the other side. I'm Steve White. So we did a little poll recently, and apparently you guys love Sasquatch stories. Good to know. So to feed that need, here are 3 stories that detail encounters with the big, hairy, smelly beast. Why did you bring it here? In my family, there's a story involving my mom and 2 of my uncles. When any of us kids ask about it, we are only told bits and pieces before the story is cut short with, "I don't want to talk about it." When the chance comes up, like around a campfire or Halloween, the story is always requested, but it's never shared. Finally, a few weeks ago, I got my mother to tell me the whole story. She did so with great reluctance, and as she began, I could see that she was visibly nervous as she traveled back in time in her mind. This is what she told me. When I was 22, 2 of my brothers and I got a job working on a farm. Every morning we would meet very early and ride together. Well, this one morning we were waiting for our other brother to show up, and we were having a snack for breakfast on the tailgate of the truck. There was a lake in the backyard of the farm that we worked on, and they had a few old amusement park rides that didn't work. They tried to fix them up, but they just never could get them going. There was also an old barn back there. Local kids would come and swim and make up stories about the creepy old couple that ran the ranch, the people that we worked for. Usually it was quiet, as not many folks are up at 4 in the morning. But this morning, it was noisy. There were loud voices coming from inside the house. Our brother showed up a few minutes later, and we were all listening to the ruckus coming from inside the farmhouse, half to make sure everything was okay and half just being nosy. The old man was screaming at his wife and his 2 kids. We couldn't make out everything that he was saying, but one thing that we did hear him say was, "Why did you bring it here?" We kept eating our measly breakfast while listening intently, and then we heard a scream that could shatter glass. The front screen door flew open. Out came the old man with the kids right behind him. And we froze as he turned around and yelled back into the house, "Get out here! It don't understand you! It's gonna kill you! Get out here!" We looked at each other and then back to the house. We watched as the farmer's wife backed out of the house slowly. And then we saw what was following her out. This thing was all black, completely covered in hair. This thing walked on 2 legs and was just a few inches away from the woman's face, growling the whole time. It was huge. It had to be 7 feet tall, maybe bigger. The old man ran at the creature, and he punched it in the head. Now, the creature barely moved, but the old man fell to the ground. We didn't think to intervene because we were all frozen in fear. The old man got up, started beating on it. After hitting this thing about 5 times, the farmer stopped and he stared at the creature. It didn't seem to be fazed by his blows. The old man then picked up his wife and backed slowly away until they reached their old truck. They hopped in and sped away in a cloud of dust. We slowly backed into our car as well and just sat and watched this creature for a few more moments, not believing what we were seeing. It turned its attention from the truck speeding away to us. And then it let out a massive howl that I can still hear all these years later. We cranked up the truck and hightailed it out of there as fast as we could. We watched it crouch down and then run off into the woods on 2 legs. We never talked about it after that. All of us were crying and too upset, and needless to say, we didn't go back to that farm and work anymore either. Back in those days, you didn't go to a therapist or anything. You just went on with your life, with a hard lesson learned. I asked my mom what the old farmer had meant by bringing it here. She didn't know. Again, nobody ever talked about it again. It was not a topic of conversation to ever be brought up. Although the creature didn't hurt anyone, it was still the scariest thing any of them had ever seen. My uncles never talked about it. The farm is long gone now, and the truth of what happened that day died with it. This has been another Strange But True Stories. Let us know what you thought of these stories in the comments below. If you have a strange encounter you'd like to share with us, send it to us in an email to strangebuttruestories2@gmail.com. We're on Patreon now. If you'd like to support what we do, click the link below. Those at $3 per month and higher are eligible for additional material. Thanks to all of our new Patreon folks, such as Jessica, Kelly, the Sunny Iced Queen, Dave, Isaac, and Liliana. And thanks for listening to these stories, and we appreciate the support. I'm Steve White. Until next time.